I see lots of agency owners getting quite disheartened and getting a bit down when they spend ages writing a proposal and basically don't win the project. So usually what happens is that we have this great conversation with a potential client. They get really excited about working with us. We get excited about working with them. They say, this all sounds great, just send us over a proposal. And so you go away and you spend, sometimes an hour or more putting together this proposal, making sure that you cover everything in there, making sure that you've got a detailed outline of the brief and the requirements and all of the things that need to be done. You fire up your email, you send it across to the client, and then you patiently wait for them to get back to you. And three things, I guess, usually happen. They get back to you and say, yep, let's go ahead. But very often what happens is you don't hear anything for a couple of days. And so maybe you follow that up and they either just ignore you and pretend they've never spoken to you before, which is kind of weird, but it happens. Or they just come back to you with some kind of vague reasons why they can't move forward. Maybe they've chosen someone else, or maybe they've just decided not to launch that project. And so this is kind of bad for a few reasons. Number one is that we spend quite a long time, days, often weeks, just kind of sitting around waiting, wondering if we're going to go ahead with this project, and kind of wasting time where we could actually be engaging with somebody else and potentially even winning more work. So that can be quite frustrating. But one of the main things is that we don't ever really know how to improve. So they don't actually give us usually any feedback as to why the project didn't go ahead. Even if we ask for it, sometimes it's a little bit vague, or, it's nothing personal, we just chose to go with this person, or whatever they say. And so we never really learn how to improve and how to essentially make our offer better. And it can be really frustrating because it could be a cool project. You could know that you can really help their business, or you can add lots of value to that project. And we're kind of left in this space where it feels quite frustrating, quite demotivating. And I know a lot of creatives especially can get into quite a negative headspace where they start beating themselves up, and all sorts of kind of negative patterns and negative thoughts can go on in our head. So I want you to stop sending proposals and replace proposals with presentations. And there's a couple of reasons for this, but if you think about when you send a proposal to somebody, what probably happens the majority of the time is that person will kind of skim through the proposal. They might be on their phone, they might be on their train somewhere, they might have just had an argument with their wife, their kids might be bothering them, they kind of scroll through. They get to the price page and they just look at that price and they think, is that kind of what we want to spend on this or not? And even if you've kind of given a ballpark budget and agreed a figure on a call, what can tend to happen is they see that number out of context and all of a sudden it feels like a really big number for them. So the reason we want to swap proposals for presentations is because proposals don't allow us to control that frame of reference. They don't allow us to have a conversation about the things that the client needs to know in order to be comfortable moving forward with that project. So the first big idea is that we need to stop sending proposals out and we need to create presentations instead. And presentations allow you to actually have a dynamic conversation, and we want to present our proposal to someone in person or on a call so that we can have a conversation around it. So that's the first big idea. So if you'd like to dig down into some of these strategies a little bit further, then click the link below and you can apply for my live workshop where I will be showing you behind the scenes of what's working for other creative agencies and giving you a custom roadmap to grow your business.